So we did a video series on upper cross syndrome. There's something called lower cross syndrome. What?
What?
What does that look like?
Lower cross syndrome is a muscle imbalance in the hip and lumbopelvic area. And oftentimes it presents as an anterior pelvic tilt, or a Donald Duck.
Oh, like the butt sticking out.
Butt sticking out. It's when the pelvis tips forward excessively, and that is going to tighten up the quads, the hip flexors, and the low back. And it's going to loosen the lower abdominals, the glutes, and the hamstrings.
Okay, so again, so exaggerating it, right? So I'm staying like this. Why do people get this? Is it from sitting down on computers all day long, or is it because they're weak, or all of the above?
That's part of the reason. I mean, we sit a lot for work. When we're driving, we sit, and that is going to tighten up those hip flexors. And you know, the bend pattern for strengthening glutes and hamstrings, a lot of people don't do it. You know, a lot of people will go to the gym and they'll work the flexor chain, and they might focus on squats and things that could tighten up the front of the body. But when it comes to hip hinge and really focusing on building that extensor chain, we don't tend to do as much of that.
Do you find this to be common with people who had forward shoulder as well? Is it like, do they kind of go hand in hand?
Yes, it's very common to see an upper cross syndrome and a lower cross syndrome in the same person.
So we've talked about this on our show quite a few times, and I would say upper cross is probably the most common. Lower cross is a close second. Are we being accurate there with that?
Yeah, I would say that that's pretty true. And now, in addition to seeing that anterior pelvic tilt, we're also seeing the opposite.
Posterior pelvic tilt.
Posterior pelvic tilt, or Pink Panther. You know, and you see that a lot. I
like the names, yeah.
It helps to describe them to people, but I see that a lot more commonly in men who are sitting. They'll tuck their tailbones underneath them, and then when they stand up, they're kind of stuck in that Urkel sort of position.
Excellent. So stay tuned to this series. We're going to show you how to fix lower cross syndrome, which can cause things like back pain and tightness and weakness in the midsection. Also, subscribe to this channel. New video every single day. You can also go to mindpumpmedia.com and check out our 30 days of coaching for free.